we can divide and conquer. We can figure this out. Like, we are a unit.
And it's awesome, too, because we're starting to get to places on time. We used to be late for everything, y'all.
I'm still okay with being late.
No. She
doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't think. I don't like most of the time the party don't start on time anyway.
For stuff like that, yes. Say, how's the fam?
How's the fam?
Hey y'all, it's Keisha.
And this is Tyler.
And this is How's the Fam?
So How's the Fam is a podcast about family, friends, and growth where we help you value the relationships you appreciate the most, okay? And on this episode of How's the Fam, we're going to go over essentially planning out your time and how to do that and what that looks like and effectively. Because she is a daggone master, okay? You hear me? She's the master. But before we get into all that, we have this segment called Just Checking In. Because you got to check in with your family every once in a while. And so, Kiki, what's your Just Checking In moment?
Oh, man.
You want me to start it out?
You can this time. Yeah, do that.
All right, so here's the thing. All right. Our daughter, she was playing soccer, okay? And she actually scored her first goal, man. And real talk, at first when it happened, I was just like, oh, man. And then, like, I started thinking about it, like, she scored the way that I used to score, which is like from far out, like 16, smooth 16. And just watching her be so proud of herself and so confident gave me such like joy that it made no sense, right? It really did. And it's still it's still kind of messing with me today. But there's another one I wanted to talk about. And the other one I wanted to talk about was my daughter Melanie. And my daughter Melanie, like, Liana went to get her hair done because you were taking her to get her hair done. 2-strand twist. Best protective style for a young child. Yeah. 2-strand twist. But she was getting a 2-strand twist and I was stuck. Well, I say stuck in the house. I wasn't stuck because I have car seats in my car. But I was at the house with my daughter. And like that was the most she's talked to me in like the last, I don't know, maybe 6-7 days. And like she was like talking to me clear. And it's just like, I was like, hey, Melanie, how's school? She's like, school was fun, Daddy. I was just like, she's talking to me? I was like, you got any friends in school? She's like, yeah, people are nice. And I was just like, look at you. Because my daughter, I call her Bam Bam. Like, she don't like to talk much. She like action. She about that action, you hear me? So she don't like to talk too much. But like actually being able to connect with her and like talk to her, see how she liked the teachers, how she liked the classmates, and things of that nature. Like it was enlightening. It was good. So Bam Bam's doing all right, baby. What you got for Just Checking In?
Well, all I can think about right now is I think my third daughter is about to betray me.
Why do you think your third daughter's gonna betray you?
Well, she
your youngest?
I know.
She's not gonna betray you. She love you to death.
Well, not fully.
Actually, what do you mean by betray?
Okay, so
you have to like she's Stewie from the early 2000s.
Well, other two girls are clearly daddy's girls, and pretty much when they were babies, I breastfed them, and so with my first, I stopped at 6 months. Yeah. And then my second one, I went a whole year with her, but I like fed her from me up to 8 months. Yeah, you did. And I just pumped the rest of the 4 months.
Very impressive, by the
way. But after I let them go, they go all to him. Even during like while I'm breastfeeding.
In all fairness,
they cling to you.
Liana always loved me.
She did
a lot.
Yeah. And so, I say my third one's about to betray me. Not that she's not going to stop eating from me or she's going to not be clingy. She's going to say dada first. I know it. I mean, it's something about our girls. And they get their first teeth are their 2 bottom teeth. And she just got hers. And for some reason, it want to drop their jaw to make them go, duh. Because at first she was like, when she had no teeth, she like grandma. She's like, I was like, she's gonna say mama first. Yes. And as soon as those 2 teeth came in, she just like, duh, da. I was just like, no, mama. And she just laughs at me when I do it, like, da. I was just like,
da. Exactly what Melanie used to do.
I'm just like, y'all just all trifling. I birthed you. And the first thing you want to mumble out of your mouth is da. Really? Go get your milk from him.
I did not think that's where you were going with the betrayal thing.
Like I said, she's not going to betray me either way. But with that, yeah. I think her first word finna be da.
That was so beautiful. Because it's funny. Like, she is right. Like, our other two daughters love me the most. Like, it's unheard of how much they love. Like, I am a girl dad through and through, but my two oldest love me to death. And like, if Keisha wasn't around as often, they'd be like, at some point they might wonder where she is, but there's no guarantee.
You're trifling.
But Naomi loves you.
She does.
Like, and only you. Like, she, like, the sight of me, it feels like it disgusts her. And I'm not like the prettiest thing to look at, but dadgum, this girl does not care for me at all.
She like you. She just deal with you right now.
She'll like me when I got food.
Yeah.
That's
Even then, she yell at you.
I remember what happened. She was crawling on the floor. I guess she had misplaced her hand, and I saw her hit the ground like hard. Mm-hmm. And so before she was even crying, I already had her up. I was like, you good, baby, you good. And she was like, it was one of those delayed, you know. And I was just like, it's okay, baby, it's okay. And she was crying. And then Keisha come, and she was like, oh, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? I was like, I got her, baby, it's cool. And she's like, get out of me. And so she goes to Keisha, she's like,
and then she turned around and looked at you like,
I was just like, cuz, what's happening? You would have thought she was throwing me the bird, bro. She does not care for me whatsoever.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, yo, you're not like the others. I still love her. I do love my life.
I gotta have at least one. Goodness.
You right.
But it is different. I'm just like, go play with your daddy sometimes. Yeah. She's like attached to me.
Well, in all fairness, like being the favorite isn't easy. So I will say that. But if looks get killed, you would be an assassin.
See, that's the awesome part of the video, because you ever hear me get silent on our podcast, I'm usually making a face at him because he's always coming up with something just funny to say. So,
funny? I don't consider myself funny, you know. I might have one joke in there. I'm more, I don't know. All right. On to the next part, but before we have the next part, I have one ad, and the ad is for famsallgood.com. Now, famsallgood.com does not exist just yet, but it will. All right, it will, and I'm gonna keep promoting it because it's gonna be an incredible website. Although I don't know what it's gonna be just yet. So check out famsallgood.com when it's here. And on to the main event, and the main event is dealing with your time, y'all. Planning out your time when you're a family, planning out your time when you're busy, planning out your time when there are other people that low-key depend on you, right? So Kiki, like I said, is the master of this, all right? The backstory for this whole topic was the birthday party that Keisha planned out.
Oh, my goodness.
Brilliant, okay? Brilliant. Turnkey. I was about to say turnkey wedding.
Hands off.
Hands off. Literally sent the invites. All of that whole process was automated. Then got the cake lady. I picked the stuff up, so she didn't have to do nothing. And then like the prizes, not the prizes, the presents. I don't know why I say prizes.
Oh, yeah. But
the presents was like, a lot of people like, yo, what is she like? It's like, hey, if you really want, it's like, here's a link. You can donate to her college fund. And I was just like, this woman is killing it. And so that's just the time that she got back by making her party, or Liana's party, turnkey brilliant. Now, there's the other part. Like, I've always been very resistant to planning out my time, almost to my detriment, right? And it's not until very recently where I realized, like, hey, if I really want to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish in life, I have to start listening to her and like blocking off time to do the things that I care about the most. And this has been 14 years in the making. All right.
14-year battle.
Yes. A quick backstory with me is my parents had me doing a lot of stuff That way I couldn't be in trouble. And so that transition to my adult life where it was like, hey, if I have like a 30-minute window, I will find something to do in that 30-minute window. And then like it's a detriment to the family because now I'm unavailable for 30 minutes, right? But now I got 3 kids. I don't have the luxury of doing that. So like as you grow and as your mission becomes more vital, what you're talking about is impressive. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Keisha. What does it look like to actually plan out your time? And why do you encourage planning out your time to the level that you do?
Well, it has changed over the past couple of years or a year.
Yeah.
I want to say year.
You're more likely, like you're cool with me shooting from the hip now.
Yeah. To a certain extent. But back in the day, I used to plan everything. Like up to a T. Yeah. Like, it was terrible. You would have thought I was like in the military. It was
definitely one of the fights.
I just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had fights over this.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you trying to control me? And you're like, I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to give you structure.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I could not wrap my head around why.
You're just so random. And before kids, that's kind of okay. But once you have a kid, it's like, all right, let's start shaping up. All right, now we have 2 kids. It's like, okay, guy, you get it yet? 3 kids? All right. We got to figure something out because, like, for real, we're going to drive ourselves crazy if we don't get this together.
I agree.
And so back in the day, I used to really plan too much. It was so bad that I would stress myself out with it because I would have this list of stuff and I wasn't getting to it. And I'm just like, I'm a failure. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is terrible. Like, what's wrong with me? Why I can't be on schedule? Like, I would like really just get upset, and I'm upset, but at the same time, I was getting stuff accomplished, and I wasn't focusing on that. I was just focusing on all the stuff I didn't get to. And so I would be stressed out, I would get angry, and then I would put it on him, especially if he didn't check stuff off of his list. And it was just not good. But I just knew that pretty much having a schedule is good. It has its benefits.
It definitely has its benefits.
But you have to kind of make it to where it's a little flexible. Because, like I said, we have kids. Yeah. We don't know what kid we're getting when they wake up the next morning. We can have little angels come down those stairs, or we turned up today. Like it's.
I hope you got your rest, mommy.
Man, you ready?
Because you're about to get it.
Oh, we're gonna be on one today for real. Yeah, you don't know what kid you're gonna get. So that's like the ups and downs. You might have a sick kid come down. You might have a sick husband.
Really though, real talk. I am not very good when I'm sick.
Okay.
I was like,
you gotta be honest.
I will say I'm a recluse. And Keisha wants to help me, and I'm just like, let me suffer in silence.
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I was just like, just let me suffer. You're like, why are you suffering? They have medicine.
We have medicine. We have stuff.
I was like, I don't know.
You gotta function. And like back in the day, like when it was just you and me, if you want to just suffer, you can, but you gotta recover because our kids don't care if you're sick or not. And so I can only hold them back. Your 2 leeches, I can only hold them back for so long. And so I need you to get it together. Go take some Tylenol, go take some Tums, whatever.
Oh man.
Get it together. You got a day. Probably 12 hours, to be honest with you. Sorry.
Killing it.
Kind of went off right there. But
I mean, you are right.
You have to plan for the festivals. I mean, it's not even with just them or Tyler. It's life. I mean, I don't know what kind of work day at work I'm going to have, whether I don't have to work later or whatnot. Or you just have a day where you wake up, you like, I want to go back to sleep. It's just, It's just one of those
I
days.
am the king of those days.
It's not gonna be a good day. I'm not planning to get anything done. So you have to seriously have a little wiggle room to where, okay, I didn't get to none of this today.
Yeah.
So let me plan for like a time later on to where, oh, that thing I didn't get to that day,
Yeah.
I can do it now or whatnot. And even if it's not in the same week, the next week or whatever, but just have it to where you just like, oh my gosh, I'm stressing about all these things I didn't get done, and my to-do list is getting longer and whatnot. It would drive you crazy. So you just please include that flexibility in your schedule.
So what do you think are some of the best practices for coming up with a schedule for the family? Because you've been doing it for a while. You've already talked about the mindset of having a schedule. So
the thing is, one thing we started doing is typically either Saturday. You like to do it on Saturday. I had to do it on Sunday because my week mentally starts on Monday. I think yours start on Sunday.
Mine starts on Sunday.
Yeah. And so we sit down and we know our heart, like the things that's gonna happen, like appointments, meetings, practices. Yeah. Oh, I need you to pick up the girls this day, which is out of the norm because we have our routines. So if anything gonna throw that routine off or not in our normal routine, we like, hey, I need you to get the girls that day, and can you pick up Mel or just anything out the norm? We'll say that, and then after all of that, just the hardcore stuff that's not pretty much gonna change. Like you're gonna go to work. Most likely the girl's gonna go to school and stuff like that. So that's kind of hardcore, but everything else, like, hey, we got to record this episode this weekend, schedule that in. We got to go find a dress for this event that's happening. Stuff, random things like that, we're gonna like include, like, hey, I would like to do that this week. When can I do it? And it's not more of when can I do it. It's just, hey, I'm gonna plan at some point when I have a little time to do this. Just a heads up kind of ordeal. Okay. But that's a good start because a lot of our lives are kind of planned out. I mean, our schedule is not as busy as it used to be. Not by a long shot. Because of COVID happened, so a lot of things got like canceled out. Yes. But back before COVID, oh my gosh, every single day we had something. Yes, and so squeezing anything else in was like a nightmare. Yes. And we were just tired and we was starting to be on autopilot a little bit. It was a little rough. Like it was definitely grinding me down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have, like you said, I didn't have much structure, so I was kind of shooting from the hip. And that's kind of when I felt like I needed some more structure, but I didn't know the system to put in place to make that happen, right? Yeah. And so the system I have in place currently is more or less what Keisha's talking about. Like on Sundays, I started with a day. I was like, yo, for a week, for this month, I'm going to plan out my next day, like every day. Right. And I was like, and that's what I did. Every day is like on Sunday, I'll plan out Monday. Mm-hmm. On Monday, I'll plan out Tuesday. And I check off those things and make sure they happen. And once I got comfortable planning out the next day, I was like, all right, I think I got it. Let me try to plan out a week. I was like, I'm going to plan out every week of this month. And we're going to see how this works out. And so I did just that. I was like, all right, on Saturday, I'll sit down and I'll be like, all right, Sunday, here's how this looks like. Here's Monday, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday, here's Thursday, here's Friday. And we're back at Saturday. And then I have like some events on Saturday, but one of the most important event on Saturday is to plan out the next week, right? And so I did that for a month. And I was like, okay, I struggled at first and then I started kind of getting it, right? And so then I was like, all right, I can plan out a week. Let me plan out a month and let's see how this works out. Now, this one was a little tricky, but it got done too. And so now I actually planned out the entire quarter, which this is the most important quarter to plan out because you got 3 holidays back to back to back. Mm-hmm. And I actually missed one, which is putting the lights on the house. So that's an event that I missed, right? And I was just like, dang. It's like, but
the nice thing about it is like what I learned from writing it down every day was like, all right, you learn what you miss, like if what you miss actually affects you. In this case, putting the lights on the house actually does affect me, but not significantly, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, cool. Like I missed it, but next year I have some notes to look at to kind of provide a checklist for this one, right? So once this quarter is over, we'll see how many mistakes I messed up. Now I'll plan out the next quarter and then the next quarter, and then we'll try to do the half year. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I didn't have a system in place. Now I have a system in place. If you won't, try it out. It's not as difficult as it seems, especially when you're starting at days and working your way up to a quarter. And you just slowly work your way up. Now, when I tell you the results have been impressive. Like, I never had this kind of structure in my life before. And the simple fact, like, part of me not wanting you to tell me what to do was me not wanting to be like, you know, it's almost like I didn't want you to feel like you were my mom type of thing. Because we don't have a mom, like, son, like, you're my wife.
Yeah.
And, like, in every aspect of you're my wife. But you're also, like, the person who I should trust that can hold me accountable. And I didn't give you enough power in our relationship to do that. And I should have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I was like, Keisha's the master, man. Because she's been doing this for so long. I've never got upset when I messed up. But she used to be, like, upset and take it out on me and stuff. It's like, Tyler, why didn't you? I was like, oh, my bad. No, it is your bad. Like, you shouldn't.
Well, it was that.
I told you.
And
I was like, oh, you're right.
it was that, and you just stuff wouldn't get done, or you like, oh, it's not enough time in the day. Well, if you go to bed and or you wake up at this time, go on and get that over with and go and then get off at a decent time. And it was just like, just build up. And so that's why it would end up as arguments. Cause I was just like, look, you would be so much better if you just do this. Like, just do it. And you were just like, no, you're not telling me what to do. Yeah. So you fought it every time. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to hold my tongue. But anytime you would come like, man, if I would wake up at this time, drop off the girls, you know, I can make it home by like 3 or 4. I'm just like,
yeah. And that's the thing, like,
it's like, yeah.
I pride myself now on listening to her. And even then, I don't be listening the way that I should, right? And it's like, it's not for not trusting you. It's I don't know what it is. It's probably something I should work on my own. Because like, you'll tell me stuff and I'll just be like, the hard way seems more fun. Thanks for the advice though. And then I literally like go the hard way just to end up the way that you wanted to do it in the first place.
Just like where we're sitting.
Not be like, hey, we already talked about it in the
I know.
episode.
Just anytime I just sit here, I'm just like, man.
You gotta let the past be the past now.
So it works out for now, right?
No, this works out cool for now.
Yeah.
Until we get something doper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, and that's why there's a lot of value in planning things out, especially if you have a family, right? Now, if you're young and you're just getting it, I will still say there is value in being organized. There's value in being structured. All right. But you know, you don't feel, I think I talked about this on Instagram. I was like, you don't feel the pressure of being organized until you have to be organized. You don't feel the punishment of being organized until you're unorganized. And like your life starts putting pressure on you for not working on that. Right?
That is true. Yeah. And the more stuff we started to add to, like we have a totally different schedule than we had before COVID.
Yeah, we do.
But since we are diving deep into our podcast and we got the video version now, I mean, we have kids, so we can't just set up and be like, okay, we're recording. No, they'll be like all in the video here crying.
Before we recorded this episode,
oh my God,
our youngest was running this bad boy.
She was like, I'm not going to sleep. Yeah, because usually I can give her last bottle for the night, because I put a little cereal in it so it can hold her through the night. Yeah. And she passes out. I mean, bottle still like halfway in her mouth, just out. I'm like, okay, I got your bottle. Lay her down. I hear the air in her bottle like. I can't whistle, so I can't make it. But it's the little whistle sound in her bottle when the milk is gone. Yeah. And instead of like just, okay, she's asleep. That girl rolls up like Frankenstein. Was like, all right, what we doing? Like, no,
she was in rare form tonight. She was like, 12 rounds, please. I'm not stopping at 5.
Oh, I'm not stopping goodness. At 10. And so we was just gonna let her play. Like, we put her on the floor, but she like climb up to my leg, like nope. pick me up, and just like, okay, let's rock to sleep. And she's like, no, I'm not going to sleep. I'm like, look, we gotta figure something out because you don't want to be on the floor. You don't want me to rock you to sleep. So you know what? You finna fight me putting you to sleep. And she finally passed out, snoring and everything. And she knew she was tired, but she was like, oh y'all trying to do something. So let me, wreck it. So,
bro.
but now that we're adding more stuff to our schedule, to our life, that schedule is becoming way more important than ever. I feel like.
Yeah. It's definitely good that I learned the significance of being able to do that, right? Because on one hand, like it takes a lot of pressure off of you. I'm being the only person who has the skill, right? It does, right? Yeah. And then on the other hand, it gives us, it allows us to be a little more dangerous in terms of like being a family, because it's like we can divide and conquer. We can figure this out. Like we are a unit,
and it's awesome too, because we're starting to get to places on time. We used to be late for everything, y'all.
I'm still okay with being late.
No. She
doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't think. I don't like most of the time the party don't start on time anyway.
For stuff like that, yes. But I'm talking about just things we actually have to be there at a certain time. I couldn't stand being late. And that was like when we didn't even have 3 kids.
Yep.
But now that we have 3 kids, we showing up on time. It's pretty impressive. And I actually look decent. I actually try to do a little bit more of my hair. Because the girls would
amazing. Okay.
The girls would be amazing. Cute. Tyler would do his thing, and I'd be like, "Okay, I'm here. Hey, y'all. I might have on makeup today, maybe not. I don't know. It's just it was it was what it was, but." Now I'm actually putting in effort. I've been coordinating with the girls as well. It's been cute. We just gotta get Daddy on board too. You could have wore polka dots last Sunday.
That is good. That is good. I know it's crazy. I probably will. I just don't feel like buying clothes. Like keeping it a buck. I bought a suit, and this is just a complete wild side note. I bought a suit because I wanted to go to my Milan brother's wedding. And I was just like, man, I'm already losing weight. Like, I've been working out, been running, been walking. I was like, I'm already losing weight. Like, what are the chances that this suit is going to fit by the time I get it? And so I told the lady, I was like, hey, man, just make it kind of, tight or whatever. And, like, luckily, she made it just tight enough for me to get in that bad boy for the wedding. It was a little too tight around the leg. Regardless, she did her job. She did what I asked her. It was perfect. I put that suit on, a week ago and today, No, a week ago. I put the suit on a week ago. Man, that thing did not fit at all.
It looked terrible.
It looked like on the top, it looks like I was like swallowed in that sucker, right? And I lift weights. It's not like I'm losing a lot of muscle mass. I'm losing some. And then like the waist, like I got 2 fingers in the waist already. I'm just like, man.
You put that belt on, it was bunched. I was just like,
yo.
What happened?
I really shouldn't have bought a suit just yet, but I really wanted to go to that wedding. So shout out to you, bro. Kiki.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to add to the conversation?
No, I'm good.
Okay. With all that being said, you got any words of encouragement for the people?
Yes. You got to start somewhere, and you might not be able to plan every day of your life or every week, but if you have a goal and you're working towards something, you're going to put that time and the effort in. And sometimes outside of work, it's kind of hard to be motivated to do something. So if you kind of put in your schedule, it's kind of like, hey, I did set out time to do this thing. Let me work on it. And I think that's also where we came from with it. We really want this podcast to do well. We're going to do things off of the podcast. I'm going into my own business. Tyler got other things he wants to do as well. So it's us.
Hey man, don't be telling people my secrets,
I'm
man.
just saying, it's like really planning that out. It's a good feeling. It's like, you know what? I do have this little time that I put aside to focus on this. And that's just like in your religion. If you set time for devotion or whatnot in the morning, that little time, it might be little, but it's that time. And nothing should, what's the word?
Influence, impact, impede.
Yes, impede. It shouldn't be... well, yeah, just leave it at that.
Interrupted?
Nothing should interrupt that time because it's dedicated to that one thing. And you should treat a lot of things you want to get accomplished the same way. So
that's what's up, baby. That's what's up. Look, I'm only as awesome as I am because my wife is so awesome, man. Mm-hmm. If you made it this far, my words of encouragement are, if you made it this far into the video, please leave a comment about what your favorite part was. Just let us know, like, yo, what part did you really vibe with? Also, leave a like and subscribe to the podcast because, I mean, we brand new at this point. Hey, if you made it this far, bro, you're going to love what we got to come because this is as bad as it's ever going to get, okay? My true word of encouragement, low-key, I kind of want to change it up.
Okay.
I think I'm going to change it up. Like what she was saying, if you want to do anything, if you want to create anything, you need time, you need space, and you need some accountability. You need the time to create, and you need the time to be creative, almost like uninterrupted, right? There would be times, I remember when I was a kid, there would be times when mom would say, y'all, stay, like, don't come in here. I'm doing whatever. She was selling Avon is what she was doing. She's like, and she was organizing all them Avon packages. She was like, y'all stay in here. Don't bother me. And we would stay in there. And we would not bother mama. Because if you did, you had to suffer the consequences, right? Mm-hmm. But you need the time to be creative, right? You need the time to build what you're going to build. Mm-hmm. You need the space, right? You need the space to actually do it, right? Your environment dictates almost who you're going to be. It's insane how much your environment impacts you. Yeah. But you need the space to actually be creative. And then lastly, like, you need the accountability. A lot of y'all say y'all was going to get in shape 5 years in a row. And you still in the same position. Potentially worse. Hey, I'm not talking to nobody. All right?
Okay.
I'm talking to myself here, okay? I'm talking to myself, right? At 220, I was like, yo, I'm going to lose some weight. COVID hit 234. I was like, yo, I'm going to lose some weight. How? It was my goal to lose weight from 220 and I ended up at 234. It's because I ain't had nobody to hold me accountable, bro. Nobody to hold me accountable, right? And so you need somebody to hold you accountable. But my original words of encouragement, so those are things you need, right? But my original words of encouragement are, you need to celebrate every single win. And you need to celebrate every single win because you got to give yourself grace. And small wins, enough small wins is how you build the momentum to achieve anything great. Kiki,
yeah.
With all that being said, how's the fam?
We're on time.
Fam's on time over here. Y'all be blessed.
Bye, y'all.